What? Oh, hello. Businesses come to me to double their sales without pushy nonsense. My name is Ian Genius with an Ian Genius alternative to selling. So most businesses that are ambitious would love even more clients, taking even more services for even more money. But to do it, they don't want to come across as pushy, feel salesy, use uncomfortable selling techniques. They'd love to close more deals, upsell with ease, confidently charge more money, but they don't like selling. The majority of small business owners that I know absolutely detest selling. Today, I'm going to show you in this workshop why you don't need to get better at selling. You see, most businesses aren't getting the success they deserve. Typically because they've got one of two problems. One, they're not having enough conversations, and two, too many of the conversations are fizzling out. So they go to networking events and they've got the perfect solution for most of the people in the room. But unfortunately, when they leave the 1 hour face-to-face or Zoom networking room, no one shows any interest. They finally get the sales call. They've got the perfect solution to the client's problem. But at the end, even when the client says yes, they take less than's recommended, or they go for the cheapest option. Or worse, the conversation ends with that dreaded line, "I'll think about it," before they stall for months or completely vanish and ghost you. They didn't appreciate the value of your service, so they defaulted to price and went to your cheaper competition, did it themselves badly, or did nothing at all. I get it. I'm going to show you how to solve this problem today in the next 30-40 minutes. So I'm using 26 years of experience to show you how to communicate the value of your service more effectively. I've used this technique to help businesses grow well over £40 million with no awkward selling techniques. I'd further it to say I don't have any selling techniques, so there's no persuasion, manipulation, convincing. We're just going to make it easier for clients to say yes. So I'm going to shift the screen around a little bit, just like that, so I become small and the video and the PowerPoint presentation becomes big. And let's crack on. So my name's Ian Genius with an Ian Genius alternative to selling. And just as a quick one, I'll put the links in later, but if you go to my website at iangenius.co.uk, there's a few freebies there. There's 5 things you never considered to improve your sales, a short ebook that shows you how to remove the confusion that causes clients to hesitate and to simplify your message so clients make better decisions. Also, I will put a link into the chat for my £15 ebook, The Perfect Pitch, which is, for anyone using the link, completely complimentary. You can download that. It's 26 years of ideas on how to stand out, stay remembered, grab attention, create intrigue. And if you're interested, if you are sick of being ghosted, you're sick of settling for low ticket clients, you're struggling to charge what your service is worth, I do a 1 hour one-on-one session called How to Sell on Value. It's normally £249, but till the end of May, I'm doing it at the offer price of just £99. So that's £99 for a 60-minute one-on-one Zoom session on how to sell on value. I've known businesses to double, triple their sales conversion in 1 hour of training. Think about it. If you turned a no into a yes or a yes into a better yes, would you make more money than £99? If the answer is yes, this is a no-brainer. So that's that as well. So let's crack on. You've got the greatest service known to man. You've spent 20 years developing it. You know it's brilliant. Unfortunately, when you say it, do they get it? Is how you're explaining your service to people worth it? Most times, most businesses are frustrated that conversations fizzle out. It doesn't matter how good your service is if they don't buy it. When you say it, do they get it? So the only requirements for this training to work is ambition. Are you an ambitious business owner? Are you an ambitious manager of a team, a sales team? If you are, that's wonderful. Would you like to close more deals? Would you love to close more deals? Let's say out of every 10 conversations, 5 said yes. What about 6, 7, 8? Would you love to close deals? Maybe closing more deals isn't the problem. Maybe you'd love to close deals in less time. You're getting clients on board, 6, 7 out of 10, but it's taking months and months when it could take weeks. Is that the driving factor? Would you love to upsell your premium service with ease and far more often? You're getting 6 out of 10. The problem is only 2 out of the 6 take what you recommended. What about 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6 taking your high ticket package? Would you just love to charge more money or discount less or just charge what your service is worth? So would you love to close more deals, close deals in less time, upsell your premium service, charge more money? Is there anyone here that would love to do all of these? More clients taking more services for more money. If that's the case, don't worry. We're going to show you how to do all this. It's only me here. Here we go. Right. So what difference would it actually make if you improved your sales conversion just by 1? It's not even worth it, Ian, just to improve my sales conversion by 1. Let's see if it does make a difference. I'm going to use some very easy numbers in this. These won't be your numbers. They're just easy numbers. Imagine in a month you have 10 conversations with 10 potential clients. 5 of them say yes, therefore 5 of them say no. And you turned 1 of the 5 no's a month into a yes. So you still end up with 4 no's, but 1 yes, more yes. You'd end up with 1 extra client a month, 1 extra client every single month. That's not worth it. But remember, there's 12 months in a year, so 1 client a month over 12 months is 12 extra clients a year. Starting to sound better, isn't it? Now, let's say you charged £500 for a client, or you made £500. It doesn't matter really at this point. 12 clients at 500 quid, £6,000. Heaven forbid you charged £1,000. Is a client worth £1,000? Yeah, my website's £3,000. This could be very easy. 12 clients at £1,000. There's £12,000 just by improving your sales conversion by 1. Nothing crazily heroic. Let's say you converted 3 out of 10, 7 no's. You turned 1 of 7 no's into a yes every month. You end up making £12,000 more. It's not unreasonable. In fact, it's very realistic. When businesses work with me, they typically do improve their conversion by 1 to 2 out of 10. So what are the key topics we're going to cover today? Why do clients ghost you? If you call clients customers, doesn't matter. Why do customers ghost you? Why is selling not the answer? What you should avoid saying in every meeting, and why making your message 6-year-old simple is key. So if you have a problem, you can find a solution, you'll make progress. Give you a worked example of that. Your boiler is broken. You've got a broken boiler. You get a gas engineer, that's your solution. And the progress is you've got central heating again. Problem, solution, progress. Now, let's flip it. So you've got problem, solution, progress. This time, no problems. Ian, I haven't got any problems in my world. That seems good, doesn't it? To have no problems seems a very, very good thing. No problems. The thing is, we've got rid of the problems. Can you solve nothing? Can you provide a solution to no problems? No. So no problem seems good, but you can also supply no solutions. Let me change that. I don't mean to swear at you. So no problems also equals no solutions. That means you stay the same. But a minute ago, we already established that you wanted to progress. More clients, taking more services for more money. You'd close more clients in less time, taking better services for more money. Progress is what you're after. Problems are good. Here's 2 problems I can't solve, however. If you tell me every conversation already converts, every single one, they take everything you recommend, only ever the best, and there's no way you could charge any more money because you already charge an infinite amount of money. There's 2 problems you have and I can't help you with. 1, you're a pathological liar, or 2, you're a lunatic and you need sectioning. You're completely delusional. These 2 problems I can't help you solve. The rest of them I can. Why do I care so much about problems? Because 95 to 98, I did a degree in mathematics. See, I'm not quite as stupid as you thought. and I love problem solving. In 1998 until 2018, I was a salesman that hated selling. I hate selling. I find most sales approaches are horrible. I don't like putting people under duress. I don't like being sold to. So why would I want to get good at the thing I don't like? I just find all of selling very, very uncomfortable. I've spent 26 years removing selling from sales, developing an approach, sales without selling. You might even call it an ingenious alternative to selling. So if you think you dislike selling, don't worry about it. So do I. So back to where we were. Problem, solution, progress. Let's reverse that. You want progress. Progress needs solutions, and solutions need problems. If you want a lot of progress needs lots of solutions, and a lot of solutions needs lots of problems. That's right. You're going to need a lot of problems if you want to succeed. Before you can clean the house, though, you have to see the dirt. You can't solve a problem if you don't know what a problem looks like. If you say to your children, have you tidied your room? They go, what needs tidying? You're going, what? You've got clothes on the floor that are dirty that should be downstairs. You've got clothes that are clean that should be hung up again. You've got crisp packets. They don't know which bits are the dirty and which bits aren't. So you can't get them to tidy up a room when they can't differentiate which bits are tidy and which bits are messy. And it's there. We've got to see the dirt. So let's say you say, I convert 5 out of 10. Good. 5 don't say yes. I convert 7 out of 10. All right. 3 don't. There's one problem. But how many of the 7 took what you recommend? 2. What about the other 5? There's the problem. Do you charge a lot of money? Yeah, I charge 800 quid. Is it worth more? Yeah, a lot more. Well, that's the problem then, isn't it? It's not that you are charging 800. If you think it's worth 1,500, you're not charging 700. Go looking for problems. Don't look at what you're getting. Look at what you're not getting. I don't care if you claim you're getting 8 out of 10. Why aren't you getting 2? That's the problem. If you say you're getting 8 out of 10, you've got one of 3 things has happened. Either you're a pathological liar, you've never got 8 out of 10. Once in 1984, you got 8 out of 10. 2, you've already worked with me, but I must have Alzheimer's because I don't sodding remember it. Or 3, you're not charging enough money. 8 out of 10. Never heard so much cobblers. It's normally 3 out of 10 plus a couple of bluebirds through the window. 8 out of 10. Will you stop? But people will say, oh, I get 8 out of 10. No, you don't. Absolute rot. So what's the current situation? Most businesses aren't getting the success they deserve. Before clients can use you, first they must choose you. It doesn't matter how good your service is if no buggers choosing it, right? Before they can use you, first they must choose you, and conversations are fizzling out. Typically 8 out of 10 sales calls end with a no. It doesn't matter. I've worked with people earning 100, 200, 300,000 pounds. The same pattern happens. 2 out of 10 say yes, 8 out of 10 say no. No, they don't here. No one says no to me. I know no one says no to you. This is a conversations not converting chart. They say things like, it's not for us. That's pretty close to a no, isn't it? It's not for us right now. It fills you with hope, doesn't it? Not now, but it might be in an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year. They'll never resurface. It's hope, but it's not for us right now is the same as a no. We're going to use you in March. And you go, hurrah, Horatio, that's amazing. And they're going to use us in March. If you hadn't, we're almost in May. That March never happened. It was rubbish. Filled you with hope, but they're not, right? Can you send me an email? Brilliant. They want to sit down and digest the information. So you spend hours writing an email, filling it with all the sort of stuff. They vanish off the planet. They're just wasting your time. That's also a no. And I'll have a think about it. The one thing they're doing is not having a think about it. As soon as they've left you, whether it's face-to-face or a Zoom call, they're going to go, not with cat and owl's chance. No, they're going to ghost you. So I know they don't typically say no. They're all effective no's. Client, what's the problem? Clients don't appreciate the value of your service. They don't appreciate the value of your service. So what do they appreciate? The thing they understand, price. In the absence of value, clients focus on the thing they do understand, price, which is why when they come on board, they take less than's recommended, or they take your cheapest option, or worse, they don't come on board. They end with the conversation with the line, I'll think about it, I'll run it past my wife, whatever cobblers comes to them. And then they go to your cheaper but inferior competitor. They do it themselves badly and waste their own time. They completely ignore the problem only to later regret doing nothing. Why would anyone take those three options? Your cheaper, crummy competition, do it yourself badly and waste your own time, do nothing, because they're cheaper than. They didn't see the value. They focused on your price, and you're not going to win that game. There's always someone cheaper than you. But Ian, it's only the odd conversation that fizzles out. Is it? Is it indeed? You might be right. Let's have a quick look at some simple numbers. How big is the problem? Let's imagine 10 conversations in a month. This isn't the getting to know you chat. This is a proper sales call. There's a big difference between let's meet up and tell each other what we do. That's not a sales call. I've got a problem. I'm really interested. I think you could help me out. That's a sales call. 10 in a month. 3 say yes. I've got a degree in maths. You know this. I reckon 10 minus 3 is 7. Let's check. It is. Right. 3 yeses, 7 no's. Let's not get tied up about no's again. I'll have a think. It's a no. Right. So that's 7 no's a month. 7 people every month that don't convert. That's starting to sound a bit bad. Problem is there are 12 months in the year. So 7 clients every month means over a year, 84 clients. Now that's starting to sound pretty horrible. You've missed out on 84 spending clients. 84 clients at 500 quid, 42,000. 84 clients at £1,000, 84,000 pounds lost. And if you want to go at iangenius.co.uk, on the right hand side there's the freebies, or if you look into this PDF in a bit when I've put it on, there's a free loss calculator. 3 questions, 3 of the easiest questions you'll ever get asked in your life. How many conversations do you have in a week? How many out of 10 say no, and how much do you charge? You can do it in 10 seconds. It will show you how much money you're leaving behind. Noticing a problem is not enough. It's the size of the problem. You're probably thinking, well, I've done several sheets where it shows you how much money you're going to make, or how much money you're going to lose. Because the size of the problem is huge. And that is, size is measured in pounds, hours, numbers, right? So let's imagine you had a nick on your finger, pins and needles, or your arm fell off. They're both problems to do with limbs and hands and arms, right? Little nick on the finger, arm falling off. If you had a little nick on the finger, would you drive down to accident and emergencies, 160 miles an hour, smash through the bollards, kick down the front door, boot everyone out of the way, shout as rudely as you could, get me the highest paid doctor now, I've got a little nick on my finger? No. If your arm fell off because you'd been involved in some freak yachting accident, or your daughter's or son's or husband or wife or best friend's arm had been severed off, and if it wasn't sewn back on very, very quickly, they're going to lose their arm for the rest of their lives, would you be far more inclined to say, please God, get me a doctor now? Yeah. What changed? They're both problems. Little nick on the finger and your arm falling off. It's the size of the problem. Why is this relevant to what we do? If you just think it is the odd conversation that fizzles out, I get ghosted every now and again, you won't tackle it. If you realise you're leaving £84,000 of business behind, you might tackle it. So again, have a go on my free loss calculator, or book an appointment with me. I'll show you how much money you're leaving behind. We're going to have to use some assumptions along the way, but it'll be a pretty fair representation if you tell me the truth. So you're leaving all this business behind, you're being ghosted, you're settling for low ticket clients, you're struggling to charge what your service is worth. What's the solution? Easy peasy, get better at selling. Is that the solution? To get better at selling? I hate selling. I'm not confident selling myself. I'm uncomfortable bringing up price. I find selling techniques are sleazy, dishonest, greedy, and you're telling me the solutions get better at selling. What a crummy solution that is. That's horrible. I'll leave it then, thanks. I don't want to get better at selling. Why? We love buying, don't we? We all love buying. We just don't hate being sold to. We don't like being persuaded, convinced, manipulated, and we certainly don't like closing techniques. You know, you go to a supermarket and you're looking at a TV and they say, which one do you want, the blue one or the green one? And you're thinking, I don't want either of them. I'm only looking. Or should we take that to the till then? I'm more than capable of taking it to the till. Don't start steering me into cul-de-sacs and forcing me into corners. You're not making my choice easy. You're forcing me to make a choice. Closing techniques stink. But what if you could make your service so easy to buy that you didn't need to get better at selling? Is that possible? To make something so easy to buy that you didn't need to get better at selling? Yeah, think about it. If you go down, you're in town, you look through the window, you see a fantastic deal in a shop. Do you go in, whether it could be an item of clothing or a CD or anything you like, you pick it up, you take it to the till. I'd like this, please. Sometimes, depending on the staff, they might not even speak to you. They just grunt and go, it's 10 quid. How good did they need to be at selling? It didn't. It was so easy to buy, you didn't need to get better at selling. Same with your business. The only reason why you'd need to get better at selling is because your service is not easy enough to buy. People can see a good deal. You're just not showing them it's a good deal. Has anyone read, one of my favorite books is it's the poet McTeagle. He wrote the book, Pete and Bernie's Philosophical Steakhouse, in which he suggests that we've glimpsed all our hypocrisies in a neuroplastic ellipse and that we're all effectively Huxley's Babkins. Has anyone read that one? Or his follow-up book, The Futility of Mortality? No? So what McTeagle's poetry is doing is rejecting all the common cliches of modern pottery. He suggests we're leaving a chocolate proboscis only to enter a hinterland of negation, and that contemporaneity is the synchronicity between time and culture. I hope that makes sense. Right? A couple of strange looks. So, you see, in his formative years, the poet McTeagle was diagnosed with Preston Didwick's congenia, and he was put on a course of thiabisalin, which is a bisterbile cranabolic amphetamide, a beta-contained trip nutrient. You might know it better as dimesmeric Anderson phosphate. I hope that makes sense. Oh, I am getting some weird looks. I must apologize for my peculiar vernacular. It's just that Mater described me as a sophistical rhetorician inebriated with the exuberance of my own verbosity. I hope that makes sense. And of course, it doesn't make sense. It is nonsense. 60, 80, whatever seconds of horse water. Before they can use you, first they must choose you. And how can you choose something when it doesn't make any sense? Nonsense. Clients struggle to make the best choices because they don't understand. They don't realize there's a problem. They don't accept they have a problem. They don't see how bad their problem is. They don't realize their problem will get worse. They think they can solve it themselves. Your service solves a problem, but your clients don't think they've got a problem. Why would they care about your solution? If they think they've got a problem, but they're not really accepting it, have you ever tried to help an alcoholic that's not willing to admit he's an alcoholic? They don't think their problem's worth doing. It's only a mild inconvenience. We know no one's going to go screaming and shouting about a prick on the finger, but they will with their arm falls off. They don't think their problem's worth solving. They don't think their problem will get worse. They don't understand that. They think they can tackle it themselves. They don't understand that. And you're thinking, well, how can they not understand it? It's easy. It's simple, isn't it? It's simple to you. What's simple to you, the expert, is complex to them, the beginner. What's simple to you is complex to them. You weren't always that knowledgeable about the subject. It's taken you 20 years and you've forgotten what's difficult and complicated. Most businesses don't. Most businesses think their value's obvious, their message is simple, except for no one else knows what they're whittling on about. What's simple to you is complex to them. And confusion kills sales. If I'm confused, I can't make a decision. And if I can't make a decision, I can't buy anything. So link them up, confusion kills sales. Every time you try to impress people with your titles and the words and the verbiage and the subjects that you're talking about, brilliant, you've impressed them. They've no idea what you're talking about, so their understanding falls away. You can't impress them and help them understand. Your sole function is to help clients make better choices, but you're trying to impress them with the words and your knowledge and your expertise. The problem is Impressing clients is at the other end of the spectrum to clients' understanding. So they go, this is amazing. I've no idea how it can help me. What a clever boy he is, but I can't buy it. And it's not just the words and the language and the jargon, it's everything. So some professions, it's known to be difficult. Financial advisors, mortgage advisors, pension specialists, R&D tax claims, foreign exchange, they're known difficult subjects. But it's not just the language that doesn't mean anything. I mean, when they talk about the Monte Carlo simulation, you're going, what? But if you're lucky enough to understand the language and the jargon and the references and all the other stuff they're whittling on about, you're going to be greeted with some mental table, chart, graph that means nothing to anyone. I've got a degree in maths and I can sit down with a financial advisor, a mortgage specialist, an insurance broker, an R&D tax that are using some numbers, and I have no idea what they're whittling on about. They've got a graph. I don't know what that axis is showing me. I don't know what that axis is. It time, dates, number of cheeses. I've got 3 graphs all in grey, different shades of grey. If I had to explain it to my fictitious wife, what did you see today? I saw some wobbly lines. Was it good? No idea. Just some wobbly lines. Obviously, in the meeting, I'm going to go, yes, that really helps. I can see how this really benefits, because I don't want to look like a massive pillock. So I'm not going to go, I've no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to go, yeah. This makes a lot of sense now. I can see it. I haven't got a clue. Tables, graphs, charts. And you go, yeah, but my flow chart, Ian, I've got a super easy flow chart. Says who? Who says it's easy? Obviously, it's easy to you because you are an expert, but you're not speaking to experts. You can't sell your expertise service to another expert in the same industry because they're doing the same thing. They don't need it. You're speaking to beginners. They don't even remember. They don't even realize they've got a problem. So they're not looking for a solution. Your easy peasy flow chart's easy peasy to you, but unfortunately you can't remember it took you 4 months to learn it. And they don't get it, but they don't want to admit stupidity. So they say, thank you very much for explaining it so clearly. That really helped. And they're thinking, please, God, don't ask me a question. Got no idea what you're talking about. So you carry on. They don't understand. They don't understand. They don't understand. Here's a confusion translator. I do a lot of networking meetings. I always listen out for utter nonsense that people say that they think everyone understands. We do VoIP. That stands for I've got Spock ears. We do VoIP. What on earth? VoIP. And you can say, I'm so sorry. What is VoIP? And they go, sorry, it's voice over IP. Thank you very much. That is no more helpful than it was the first time. You can keep this silly game going all day. VoIP. What's that? Voice over internet, voice over IP. What's voice over IP? It's voice over internet protocol. Sod off. Voice over internet protocol. Who knows what the word protocol really means? Internet protocol. It's gibberish. When people say we do VoIP, I've got Spock ears. I'm a fractional. Here's a new one. I'm a fractional. No idea. I did a degree in maths and I'm deliberately keep saying it to irritate you. Half, a quarter, an eighth, they're fractions. What does I'm a fractional mean? No idea. I'm trying to sound clever. That's what that one means. We do long tail keyword research. I've no idea either. People say this, we do long tail keyword research. I don't know what problem that solves. Am I meant to go to you with a broken leg, a broken heart, or a broken computer? I've no idea. We work with C-suite. Oh, we do. I'm a fractional working with C-suite. Will you stop? I love sweets too. Please, have you got some sweeties? What are you whittling on about? I deal with ISO 97Y $, percentage sign. What on earth? You've lost touch with humans. No one's memorized the ISO codes, but these are genuine things I hear. We do bioresonance. Oh, that's amazing. And they start telling you about the wavelength. I don't know what I'd go to see you about, bloody bioresonance. But you say, well, I do say some of these things, but I always check understanding. I check that clients understand. Do you indeed? Right. Yeah, I say, does that make sense? I say, do you understand? I say, is that clear? I say, I hope that makes sense. What? There's only one answer to the question, does that make sense? And the answer is yes, because the other answer is no, I'm thick. Does that make, the fact you've asked, does that make sense, or any of the variants? Doesn't matter what you, is that clear? The fact you've asked it, you know it wasn't. Right? And you're only going to get lied to. People don't want to put their hand up and say I'm clueless. So they go, yeah. That can, yeah, I can see how that works. They've no idea what you're talking about. That's why the conversation ends with, I'll think about it. I had the AA round the other day, the AA round, not the alcoholic ones, the car ones. And they said, Mr. Genius, there's something wrong with your car. Would you like me to tell you what it is? And I thought, you might as well. I probably won't understand you. He went, crossbeam's gone out at skew on treadle. What? Crossbeam's gone out at skew on treadle. I don't really get it. He says, well, you know the thrush plate, if you route to the lookout valve with the frimp spoke, you can pretty much eliminate all the felching, providing you fully rim the satchel arm first, but don't forget to fully lubricate your slip hole. I said, I'm a little bit lost. He said, well, you're going to just need your basics, mate. You're only going to need your basics. You're going to need a dozen Grollins, maybe a copper flange pipe, 2 jamborees, 7 nipples, preferably greased, 20 cock grip shafting sleeves, maybe 9 parping couplets, 5 male, 4 embarrassed female, 6 sheets of Gruddock's paper, 4 felching pens or frotting pencils, whatever you have, and beveled spill trunnion. He said, does that make sense? I said, I'm not really a car man, I'll be honest with you. I'm a bit lost. I can hardly put windscreen wiper fluid in, let alone what you've been telling me about. You couldn't make it easy for me, could you? And he did. He said, well, you know your steering wheel? I went, yeah. He said, you know your windscreen wipers? I went, yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm getting this. This is finally making some sense. And then he said, well, the lank connector's not going into the scud socket anymore. Does that make sense now? And I went, yeah. Just gave in. I'm going inside. I'm going to show you how to solve this problem. One of the questions people say is, well, if you can't ask those questions, what questions can you ask? None. If you have to check understanding, you know it's too complicated. That's why you're asking it. It's absolutely moronic. But I will show you how to solve it. Who here loves algebra? Wee. No, you lot. Boo hiss. Right? Here's an algebraic question. Doesn't matter if you know the answer, it's the premise. Right, so here's a question. 3x squared plus 3x squared equals. If you think you can answer this yourself, brilliant, well done to you. But think about someone, a husband, wife, partner, son, daughter, friend that couldn't. So let's look at this. 3x squared plus 3x squared is multiple choice, 9x to the power of 4, 9x squared, 6x to the power of 4, 6x squared, 81x, 180, or I don't know. Is there anyone thinking, I don't know? Good. A few of you have got your hands up. A few of you don't know. Brilliant. Would it be okay if I showed you how to solve this problem using ridiculously easy numbers and extremely easy examples? It makes it a lot easier for me to explain. Would that be all right? It just makes it a lot easier for me. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So 3 plus 3 equals 6. Easy peasy. Right. Let's make it slightly harder. Inanimate objects. 3 bananas plus 3 bananas equals 6 bananas. It's 3 and 3 is 6 bananas. Bananas didn't turn into oranges. 3 bananas plus 3 bananas is 6 bananas. If you try this out on someone else, and I do suggest you do, if you try this out on anyone over the age of 6 and they say 3 bananas plus 3 bananas is, half the time you'll get an answer of 6. Say 6 what? They go, oh yes, bananas. 3 bananas plus 3 bananas is not 6. It's 6 bananas. That's key. Carry on. We'll make it slightly trickier. Hopefully I'm not confusing anyone at home. So 3 dogs plus 3 dogs is 3 and 3 is 6. Dogs stays as dogs. They haven't turned into camels. 3 dogs plus 3 dogs is 6 dogs. Now, just a quick note. I am a mathematician. I can't spell my way out of a paper bag. So I can't spell the word. I thought of what's the most complicated word in the whole wide world, and that word is xylophones. Now I remember I couldn't actually remember how to spell it, so I've had a couple of stabs, each time probably wrong. So if I did 3 xylophones plus 3 xylophones equals 3 and 3 are 6. Xylophones stays xylophones. It's 6 xylophones. The only difference in my case is I couldn't spell it, so that's the third attempt at trying to spell xylophones. But you see, it doesn't matter how complicated the word is, add the numbers, repeat the sound. Even when you make it up, 3 diddly-doos plus 3 diddly-doos is 6 diddly-doos. Taking that into account, we add the number, repeat the sound. 3x squared plus 3x squared is 6x squared. Suddenly, why were you able to solve it now? Because the problem became 6-year-old simple. How do I know? Because I tested this when I created it back on my 6-year-old daughter who got it right. And everyone of the age of 6 that's ever been asked to with my friends' children has got it right. It's now 6-year-old simple. What happened is we got to a problem, 3x squared plus 3x squared. We didn't know what it was. The problem was too big. The step was too big. We broke the step into lots of smaller steps and suddenly we could solve it. And if you keep breaking each step into more steps and more steps, you finally end up with a slope. And whether it's a baby crawling up it or a wheelchair user, everyone can get up the hill. If you convert 3 out of 10, good. 3 got it, 7 didn't. I'm convert 5 out of 10. 5 didn't get it. It's not the steps too big for everyone. It's not easy enough for all the people. Make the steps easier. Get everyone to understand it. Why is making your message 6-year-old simple? Why is it key? If you could make your message 6-year-old simple, would you ever need to ask the question, does that make sense? I mean, if a 6-year-old could see the value at the age of 6 with 1 year of maths and 1 year of English under their belt, could an adult get it wrong? No. Now, you may say, well, I'm selling to people younger than the age of 6, in which case we need a new plan. But if that's not the case, if you made your message 6-year-old simple, would you need to ask the question, does that make sense? No. But Ian, you'll insult them, won't you? Do you remember I said, would it be okay if I show you how to solve this problem using ridiculously easy numbers and extremely simple examples? Makes it a lot easier for me to explain. Where have I pinned the stupidity? To me. It's easier for me to explain. You don't want to see me struggle, and it's all on my shoulders anyway. I've put the stupidity on me. So what have we learned? Why do clients ghost you? Because they don't understand. Why is selling not the answer? Because the solution to not understanding isn't selling. The solution to understanding is make it easier to understand. And you don't like selling either. What should you avoid saying in every meeting? Does that make sense? Or any version of it? Because it doesn't make any sense. Next time you got to say it, take yourself outside and give yourself a damn good hiding. I reckon most people say it roughly 3 times a day. Times that by 365 days, you're roughly 1,000 times a year. 40 years later, you've said, does that make sense 40,000 times? The problem is every time you've got to say it, the name Ian Genius will pop into your head. So 40,000 times between now and your untimely doom, my name will pop into your head. How irritating is that? Why is making your message 6-year-old simple key? Because when you make your message so simple, you don't need to ask, does that make sense? And how do you do it? Put the permission on you. Ask permission. Put the stupid on you. Is it okay? It makes it a lot easier for me to explain. So that's my presentation. You say it, but do they get it? Remember, if you're not charging what your service is worth, if you're discounting, if you're settling for low ticket yeses, if you're getting ghosted, if you know that you're not communicating the value of your service as well as it should, take advantage of my deal. It's normally £249, 1 hour, 60 minutes on Zoom and recorded, but at the moment till the 31st of May, it's 150 quid off. How to sell on value, 1 hour, one-on-one, 1 hour, £99, and a recorded session, 99 quid. When you turn a no into a yes, you're going to make more money than that. When you turn a yes into a better yes, you're going to make more money than that. I've worked with a client, within the week, he'd made his money 10 times back over. So If you're not ready to do that yet and you want to have a read of something first, 5 things you never considered to improve your sales. Which ones do you assume don't apply to you? And there's also a link to Iggy's perfect sales pitch, normally £15, but if you've watched this video and you download the book, it's absolutely nothing. So, or if you just want to chat, let's reach out. My name's Ian Genius, with an Ian Genius alternative to selling. So I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, I can show you how to communicate the value of your service far more effectively. So reach out, let's have a chat. There's 61 5-star Google reviews, 104 reviews on LinkedIn that say it better than I can. So one last time, my name, Ian Genius, with an Ian Genius alternative to selling. I think I'll do the royal